Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I am a mechanical engineer by trade, but I've managed to completely flip my career from engineering to consulting, and now enjoying the life as a strategy manager in a large consulting firm. Now, you may be wondering how I got here. In this video, I will share with you my journey from engineering to consulting. In order for my journey to make sense to you, I really need to take you back all the way to when I fell in love with math and science. My love for math and science started in middle school, which led to a very early interest in engineering. And by high school, I had already decided to pursue a career in mechanical engineering. I continued to pursue this path and went to Cornell and majored in mechanical engineering. While I was at Cornell, I did 2 internships, or what the Cornell engineering program called co-ops. For both of those co-ops, I worked at one of the biggest aviation companies. And because I enjoyed working as a mechanical engineer in the aviation space, I decided to take a full-time position at that company following graduation. After graduating undergrad and joining one of the largest aviation companies, I still wanted to continue my education and decided to pursue a Master's of Science. I've always had a personal passion for learning and expanding my knowledge. So as I was working as an engineer full-time, I decided to pursue a Master in Mechanical Engineering through an employee sponsor program that the company was offering. This was a great opportunity for me because it allowed me to work full-time while also completing a master's degree full-time. In order to explain the first few years of my career, we'll need to get just a little bit technical in nature. The first few years of work for me comprised of working on the cold section of the engine. The engine is comprised of 2 sections. Approximately the first half of the engine is considered what we call the cold section, and the second half of the engine is called the hot section. In my first few years at the company, I had worked on the components of the cold section. So that included the fan, the booster, and the high pressure compressor. I won't get into the specific details of the roles I held at that company for 4 years, but if you're interested in hearing more, please comment down below and I'll be happy to make a video specifically on those roles. After working at the company for 4 years and achieving my Master of Science, I was actually reached out by another large aviation company for an opportunity to work on the hot section of the engine. I was very excited for this new role as it gave me an opportunity to broaden my experiences outside of the cold section of the engine. This was my very first job change out of college. Although this experience of changing companies was very new to me at that time, I was very excited about expanding my experience and expertise beyond what I've worked on in the 4 years. Without getting too far into details in this video, in case there are others out there who are going through the same transition or planning to go through the same transition as I did in this time of my career, I do want to share one thing. When you're going from an aviation and defense company to a competitor in the same space, my experience was, let's just say, a very unusually unique experience. If you want to hear more about that experience, please like and subscribe and hit the notification. You know how I've mentioned that I had a passion for learning and expanding my knowledge? Well, one thing I have not mentioned yet is that prior to getting this new job offer, I had actually already enrolled in an online MBA program. So I could work full-time while continuing to expand my education. Because I was spending so much time in the technical engineering space, I wanted to grow myself in the areas I wasn't getting exposure to in my day-to-day job. So I decided to do an MBA focusing on general business and program management. Now, because I had decided to do an online MBA program, the location was not an issue when I was deciding to move companies. And in fact, because the new company that I was moving to also had an employee sponsorship program, I was able to complete my MBA through the employee sponsorship program. This is the point in my career when the fork in the road came to me. Through the MBA, I had discovered the world outside of engineering, learned about jobs in business, finance, consulting, and more. But what really stood out to me in particular was consulting. It seemed to be the perfect mix of what I enjoyed in engineering, which was problem solving, and also what I wanted to experience more in, which was customer interaction and business processes. So all in all, after 5 years in engineering, I decided to completely flip my career and become a business consultant, joining one of the big 4 firms as a senior consultant. I spent time in my first consulting role exploring and learning, absorbing as much as I can as quickly as possible to adapt and assimilate to the new consulting culture. This was a huge change. It was nothing like the change in my first job, going from one engineering company to another engineering company. This was a change in not only what I did, but also how I worked and, in a sense, how I lived on a day-to-day basis. So I quickly adjusted and ultimately fell in love with the life-changing aspects that consulting brought to me, like the diverse projects, the endless opportunities to learn, and the client interaction, and then of course, you can't forget the travel. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my consulting journey. As I said in my prior video, it wasn't the simplest path. If you're excited to hear more, please like and subscribe and be on the lookout for my next video on why I chose consulting. Bye!